So we've just talked for good, probably half an hour.
Yeah, half hour.
And we could have recorded all that and done a load of content out of that, to be fair. One thing I wanted to get you on today, mate, and talk about, and I feel like this has probably been a long time overdue, is ads management. Because we get asked this question all the time around, do we run ads? How does organic content match with paid content? And then you've got all the stuff now with AI coming in with Meta and all this kind of stuff. So I want to dive into all that with you, and I'm going to get your expert take on all this because we just talked off camera about doing some collaboration and all that together. So in terms of, firstly, who are you and what do you do? For anyone who might be not aware of who you are and what you do, who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Mark Baker and I run a company called Herd Marketing and I've run it since 2018. We look after predominantly paid search on Google and Meta, and we also do website design and hosting.
I love it, mate. I love it. So I was saying off camera that Facebook ads are like, they're a bit of a fucking minefield to me because I've just not really got any inclination to actually do it. I love the creative side of it and I love producing content. But in terms of just running ads, I mean, it just seems so, it just seems such like a number, like algorithmic based thing. But with Facebook Andromeda that's being brought up now with positioning stuff, how is that sort of changing the landscape of paid ads and Meta specifically?
AI's had a huge influence on the ads manager and paid advertising on the whole, really. A few years ago when he used to run ads, he used to have to put lots of interests in, he had to put a lot of detailed information in. Now the AI side of it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, especially like we were talking about earlier in terms of the targeting and things like that. You can still obviously put extra bits in around custom audiences, lookalike audiences, that sort of thing, but for the majority and for a lot of advertisers now, the AI side of the targeting is phenomenal, especially on Meta. And I think one thing to remember as well is everyone thinks that Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, etc., they think they're social media companies, and that they're not. I think an important sort of position to remember on this is that they are data companies. That is what they are. They hold tons of data on everyone about what you like, what you do, your interests, where you've been, where you're going. And that's why it's so valuable. That's why people spend so much money, because it goes back to the core of marketing of knowing your customer, position, place, price, etc., all those sorts of things.
I love it. It's funny, you know, like if like a company come along and was like, right, I'm going to put £1,000 in. It's like if you go to a fruit machine or a casino or something, which I never do. Let's say you put £1,000 in, you kind of like gambling on the fact that you may get a return back. When you work with like sort of these businesses, are they kind of thinking it's a calculated risk almost, in the sense of how much money they're spending versus how much money they're getting back out of it? And is there a way of kind of strategizing how to strategically scale that up? Because like let's say you put £1,000 in and you say, right, okay, I know if I put £1,000 in, roughly I can estimate that I'm going to get about £3,000 back. And then when I get that £3,000, I can probably put 1,500 in and scale it up from there. So like, you kind of get what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I do get asked this by clients quite a lot. If we put X in, will we get Y out, sort of thing? Because that's a natural question you want to know the answer.
And how does, I get a follow-up question to that before you dive into it, is how does the actual quality of content affect that? And what content is like are people looking at the moment?
Okay. In answering the first question first, I think when it comes to who we work with and who we sort of like to work with, the biggest difference that we can make for clients who are generally spending more than £1,000 a month, up to about 25 grand, that's our sweet spot for ad spend. And with those sorts of budgets, they've usually got some existing data, and they've usually got some existing sort of customers. They've got a decent customer base. They're not new to it, so to speak. When you start from zero, the first couple of months are quite data hungry. You're looking for data. So although you can come in and you can start, and you can say, right, we're going to start with £1,000. Typically in those first months, in that infancy period, it is going to cost you more per lead and your cost per acquisition as they go through learning phases, as they go through making tweaks to content. And that then sort of pivots a bit on to your second question, the importance of quality content, and it's crucial really. But that being said, quality content is good, but real content's better. And I think that's what's really important. Now, you don't always need a Netflix grade production to have a video do particularly well. I think you can get a lot from just basic content. But that being said, professional content is better, and if you're selling, it ties into being relatable to your product or service. So I know you work with a couple of solicitors and law firms. You need that professional image for a client like that. Whereas if you're selling something that's perhaps, say, a t-shirt to a target audience of 18-year-old girls, it perhaps doesn't need to be as professional.
I love that.
So again, it goes, and I always say this to everyone, it goes back to knowing your customers and then catering for that really.
Yeah. I mean, I get that with podcasting, like. So we've got a package for social media, and we've got like a sort of it's kind of like the same package but tailored to podcasting, around the same price points. Now, if someone wants to do a podcast, they want the studio, they want the look, they want the feel. Like when you walk into the room, what the kind of vibe I want to give people is like, wow, this is a legit podcasting studio where I can have different options, different sets. So that's going to need a certain piece of content to promote that, versus someone doing a selfie video. So again, I agree. I do selfie videos sometimes. I'm not always doing this like sort of like you say Netflix style production. But I'm fascinated that like the way the algorithms are changed now. So what I always say about the algorithm, definitely on an organic level, is the algorithm's only job really is to put the right content in front of the right people at the right time. Now, it's never going to get it right all the time, and sometimes you're going to see stuff that you don't want to see, and sometimes there's some negative effects of that in terms of like people seeing content they should never be seeing. And I get that, but on the whole, I always think if you've got a bad idea, if someone's got a bad idea, the way to be better is to have better ideas. If someone's got bad content, better content is the way. It's not to put no content out. Now, what I've found with some of our clients is they'll run ads, and we talked about this off camera, but they'll run ads, and then what will happen is they'll click through to like say Instagram or Facebook, and there'll be next to no content there, or crap content. And when I say crap content, I've got a bit of a thing about Canva.
Oh yeah, I get that.
I hate Canva. No, I don't hate Canva. For anyone out there watching this, I don't hate Canva. What I hate is that people like just sort of rip templates off there. And just basically, you see the same templates, and they basically just put their own name on it. They've not even changed the font or the colour. It's just like the standard Canva template. So with that, I suppose it is a mix. But how does, with this new sort of AI stuff that's coming in with Meta, and the positioning stuff that we've talked about being took over a little bit more by AI, how much emphasis does it place on people like us to make better content, or whatever that looks like?
I think it's crucial really to have good content as a starting point, and good content is what's good content to your end user, whether that be your client, your customer, your viewer, and that's the only metric to measure. So
we don't actually determine what is good content. The end audience.
Well, I bet you've had videos that you've done and you think that's absolutely banging. That's one of the best vids I've done. You've put it out and it's just got no views, and then you might have done one in the car and it's crap quality, whatever, the sounds are great, but it's had loads of views, and it's frustrating when that happens. And I have clients come and they've had AI videos done. A client spent $3,000 having this video done for a solicitor's, and it's an AI video of a little girl talking about a will. Now, the intent behind it's good in that it's looking for an emotional response. Oh yeah, I will. I need to think about leaving something for me kids, whatever. But the when we put it live into the ads, it didn't perform as well as some of the content that we had, and that was the most invested piece of content that they'd done. And you can't always, in fact, what I always say to clients that thinking about it is, it's the piece of content, whether that be an image, a video, a short, whatever it might be, that you think is the worst that always does the best, and there's no rhyme or reason for it, and it's you can't predict it really, you can't, and it just happens. And when that happens, it's quite funny, because that then gets quite a lot of legs, and it gets quite more comments on it, more engagement. That then helps with the organic reach of the video. When people start commenting on paid vids, their friends see it, or associates, whatever it might be, see it.
You are kind of at the mercy of the algorithm.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah, like if me and you log into Instagram right now, we just get served up essentially what it thinks that we're interested in.
Yeah.
We don't even necessarily have to be following that account. We just get served it up.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go on YouTube, you have to physically click the video, like an ad. You have to physically click it to access it. And because you have to physically click it, that's a decision that you've got to make. Because you've made the decision, even if it's a split-second decision, it's still a decision.
Yeah.
So I always argue to people that a view on YouTube is actually more precious to you than a view.
I agree,
and it feeds
with
into your points of like, you don't necessarily need a huge audience of, say, hundreds of thousands of people. Because me and you have probably met people with massive followings and making no money.
Yeah.
But you see people with like 10,000 followers or less making a load of money.
Yeah.
Because that captive audience is so good. Like, I really pride myself. Like, we haven't got the biggest audience in the world. And if you look at our actual, like, vanity metrics, like you say, they're probably not that great compared to other accounts. But what we've got is real quality people coming into the business, and that's what I care about.
Yeah.
And the quality of these, and then people look at me and go, "How are you doing that? Because you're not making like you're not doing millions of views every month."
Yeah.
But and I suppose what I've realised, just being a bit of a hawkeye on it, is what's performing the best for us at the moment is actually podcast clips, talking conversational clips, because the fact that me and you are talking now is a lot more humanising for both of us.
Yeah.
So someone's watching this, they go, I like that guy,
Relatable,
he's
innit?
sound, rather than, a forced selfie video or something that someone will do.
They serve different purposes, don't they, a little bit?
This is it, right? So it's kind of like a mix between the two, I always find. It's like, it's conversational. It's not that highly produced as such, but it looks visually good.
Yeah.
And it's not like this huge, like, sort of epileptic fit, like inducing, like, flashy bit edits or anything.
Like TikTok.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, we've done them edits before as well. If you go back on our accounts, you'll see them edits from us. We can do that. But Jesus, like, I'd rather just do a really informative piece around, like, what we're talking about today is very specific, so it's going to hit a lot of people that have got that specific need, right? So I love it, mate. So talk to me a little bit, just moving on slightly, about how, I mean, the way we always frame it is, or in our heads anyway, we always think our job is not to get people and to keep people on social media on our stuff. Our job is to take someone and get them off social media and bring them in.
Yeah.
So talk me through, and you've talked me through this, but talk our audience through it, around how you get someone from, let's say, viewing organic content to running an ad, to clicking the ad, to maybe signing up to a call, or maybe booking a link, or whatever it is, and then essentially coming into your business. Talk me through the real practicalities of what you would do with someone to take them through that process of, like, right, okay, content's good, paid ads are good, click-through rate's good, cost per lead's good, for your business, and making a load of money. Like, what's that process that you typically go through with someone?
So what we're talking about there is an existing business that's running paid ads, they're posting organically. They're already an established sort of business, if you like. 9 times out of 10, the problem that they've got, or they have, that needs addressing from my perspective, and this relates to a lot to the content that I put out, is cost per lead is too high. cost per acquisition's too high, or they feel they're spending and they're not getting enough return for their ad spend, or if it's an e-commerce business, a similar problem that the cost per sale is.
Does that put pressure on you as well to like deliver that outcome for them?
No, not really, because I measure expectations early on, and I'm very clear with that. It's I think we touched off camera earlier that it's fairly unassuming, and I try and be that by under promising but over delivering, because too many people will say, oh yeah, we'll do X, we'll do Y, and then they can't deliver, and it just makes you look, it does you no favours. So I try and measure expectations and try and be blunt as well, because in the past I've run an e-commerce business, and I've got the experience of being on the other side of having to deal with an agency or a freelancer or someone. So I think I can empathise and I can understand and grasp what their pain points are. And it makes me relatable to clients. But I think in terms of the process of that, we look at what they're currently doing and just take an honest, critical approach. And I think if you can critically analyse something and have the buy-in from the clients that they trust you and your processes, that's a big help. I think if you get a lot of pushback from the client and they don't want to listen to you, or they're changing things, that they're not really the right fit for you and you're not going to get the best results. I think when you can be, I say blunt because it's the best way to be. It's honest. Like last week we had a guy, and he was spending a lot of money, probably $5,000 a week on ads. They kept changing things, kept altering things, and there wasn't a consistency to the strategy, and they were making emotionally led decisions instead of data-driven ones. I had to be direct and say, look guys, stop with this. This is, trust what I'm doing, trust what I'm saying. And after pausing that and after having that conversation, the ads have just flown the past week. They've just flown. They've found the wings, and it's not like I told you so. It's just believe in the process and just follow the process.
I love it. I love that, mate. I find that it's like, don't get too high on the highs, don't get too low on the lows.
Exactly. Yeah. Ride the wave.
You know, and like I just completely agree with what you say. Trust the data, not your emotions.
And it's hard because some days you'll come in and you might have one lead. And
when you're spending a lot of money like that, let's say $20,000 a month, when you're spending that much money, that is, you know, it's enough to make your arse go a little bit.
Yeah. It's yeah.
So I suppose if you're spending $20,000 a month and you're getting one lead coming in, that's, you know, you're gonna wig out a little bit.
Yeah.
But like you say, like, I mean, I've learned over the last 6 years in this business, you know, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Do you know what as well? You have to factor in things as well. You have to, and this is where the experience comes in, you have to factor in like what macro environmental factors, like, for example, big political things. If there's a thing on politically, like Trump's done one of his things about tariffs, or if we're having a general election, and even things on a smaller scale, the kids being off next week, that's going to have an effect on ads for the most part. And you have to, I won't say weather that storm, you just have to be aware of it. It's like sailing somewhere. You have to know the winds and you have to be aware of things. It's never a straight line, never, 100%. And it shouldn't be either.
I mean, I think that's gonna be so valuable to like our audiences.
I hope so. Yeah.
I think it will be. Like, I know it's valuable to me because I mean, even speaking to you today, I mean, we've known each other for a while now, and even speaking to you today, I've learned so much. Like I say, like I haven't really got the time and inclination to do it. So, just for context, anyone who's watching this, I'm going to be probably working with Mark in terms of my own ads going forward, and in terms of passing client work onto Mark as well, because we, like you say, we've built that relationship over time, we've built that level of trust over time where I can do that.
Yeah.
And like what I've realised with, again, this is, I don't want to go off topic as such because we're talking about ads, but with like networking and relationship building and stuff, what we done when we first sort of started the Concept Room, this next iteration of our business, we sat down and we literally wrote out on a piece of paper like our core values, what do we stand for. So what we all came down to was meaningful relationships, simplicity, personal ownership, and going the extra mile. They're our 4 main core values.
Yeah.
So meaningful relationships to us, that means no one's a number on a spreadsheet. We do all that. We have like a P&L and all that. But,
Yeah.
you know, if you work with us, Mark, you're not just going to be this number on a spreadsheet that if you piss off one day, you're gone and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, you're our mate, you're our friend. You can ring us, you can text us, we'll go above and beyond for you. Simplicity is taking all the jargon out of it. I don't necessarily need to know or want to know the ins and outs of the technicalities of what you're going to do for me. What I want to know is, are my ads working?
Yeah, and that's a lot of business owners just they don't want to know how it works.
So when we were at PT, we had this like analogy, and we always used to say, "Show me the baby." Now no one knows what that means. But what it basically means is, let's say a woman's pregnant, and she's having a baby. Now through that pregnancy, what will happen is, she'll probably have some mood swings. She'll probably be a bit hormonal. She'll probably be a bit more insecure body-wise because she's got a bit bigger in her belly and stuff. She might not be able to sleep. She might have sleepless nights. She might be uncomfortable. She goes through a lot of pain through the actual pregnancy to actually get the baby out. There's a lot of stuff the woman goes through. You can empathise with all that.
Yeah.
But in the end, when you have the baby, everyone just wants to see the baby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, show me the baby. So when we were at PT, and it's totally wrong this, and I look back and cringe a little bit, but like, you put someone through a hard session, and they'd be moaning about it, and they'd be this and that, and be like, show me the baby.
Yeah.
I don't care about all that.
Yeah.
I want to see the baby.
It's the end result.
I want to see the end results. That's the end result of it all.
Yeah.
And it's the same in like if someone comes to us, they don't care about the camera settings, or they don't care about what model. I don't think I've ever been asked what model of camera we use. They don't care about what editing software we use. What they want to see at the end of it is a great podcast or great social media content or great looking, informative work that they've done. And that's the show me the baby thing. And it's the same with ads, right? Like if I come to you, I'm not going to pester you all day long about like, you know, what are we doing here? What are we doing there? I'd be like, just, are the ads working?
Yeah.
Show me the baby.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of go through all the time. That's like the thing that I say all the time. And then, so that's simplicity. And then personal ownership is, sometimes you're going to get a bit of an arsehole who comes along.
Well, inevitably, yeah.
Inevitably. And they're going to do something a bit shady or a bit shitty. And it's not going to be your fault. But personal ownership means it's not that you've done anything wrong, but it's how can we deal with it properly.
Yeah.
So one thing you'll never hear any of us do in this business anyway is blame anyone else for anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. You've got to take ownership.
Even if it's their fault.
Yeah.
We take ownership. But like, how can we deal with this the best?
Yeah, I like that because you've got to own your wins as much as your losses.
100%.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like over the last 6 years, we've made a ton of mistakes. We've had a ton of issues that we've had to overcome. Most people would probably have jacked it up to this point.
You learn from them though. Without that, you don't get better.
I always say to people just starting out with like a new idea now, I always just say to people, you know, if you've got thick skin and you can, you know, stick in it, because it'll come good in the end.
Yeah,
but you've got to learn
sure.
and you've got to iterate and you've got to, I'm banging out a bit here, but yeah.
No,
and then going the extra mile is like, just doing stuff like having some cans of 7-Up on the side or having some penny sweets on the side or whatever.
It's good. It's the basics, man.
Yeah, just like maybe just want a cup of coffee or, you know, just doing some extra stuff for them when you don't necessarily need it or whatever. And I feel like if you nail them things, you've got a decent setup for your decision.
Yeah, a lot of what you said there from those 4 core values are quite relatable to what I do for my clients. And
this is how we kind of like, we talked a little bit before about, you know, disqualifying people as much as qualifying people.
It's important.
That's important, right?
Yeah, very.
And I feel like when you live by the values, if someone falls outside of them values, that's absolutely fine. Like,
you just don't work with them.
You're just probably not the right fit.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But when we didn't have them values, that's when we were working with more people who we didn't have great relationships with, and we didn't. And that's when we were making a lot more mistakes. Now, I know that, I'm glad you've said that you relate to that, because I know that me and you are probably going to be decent working together.
Yeah.
Me and you can go for a pint together after this.
Yeah.
And have a fucking Nando's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or go to the gym
shout.
together or something. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that because we live by them values.
Yeah.
And I know that if we end up working together, and that's why I've obviously spoke to you about working. Anyway, we digress. Just to round this bit off, if someone has done a little bit of social media. They might have a side hustle. They might be an employee of a business and thinking about getting out. They might be someone who's already got a business, quite established, but they did a bit of social media, but they haven't really pushed it as such. They haven't really got a massive audience. They might just do the odd post here and there. And someone is thinking about building that audience and gathering your audience, as you like to call it.
Yeah, it's a strapline.
Yeah. What sort of like 2 or 3 sort of fundamental tips you would give someone to start just straight off the bat?
Good question. I think if you're off the bat, get your messaging clear. Be clear in your messaging of what you want. Keep it simple. I think just keep it simple, and do what you say you're going to do.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think those 3 things, and I think you won't go too far wrong.
I say that to people. Clarity is king.
Yeah.
And confusion is a killer.
Yeah, it is. It's the same with onboarding. When I onboard a client, and I'm sure yours is probably the same, it just needs to be simple. At that point, they're a paying client. They don't need, they're paying you to do the work. And although there is some onboarding involved from there, and they've got to give you access, etc., it just needs to be simple.
Yeah, I always say to people, like, my first business coach, I talked about this on a podcast yesterday. My first business coach, Peter, who's a very successful guy, he's actually in his 70s now. Does a bit of career coaching. He's not actually in the business anymore. Multi-millionaire. And he used to say to me, we talk about big ideas all the time. And he used to say to me, big ideas are huge in your imagination, but small in reality.
Yeah.
And the penny never really dropped me. I'm telling you, like, I didn't get it. And as it like went on in business and I learned more, I started to realise what he meant.
Yeah.
So we talked about some big ideas about creating revenue streams and stuff. And you have this, like, say, a big idea, and you think, I'm going to change the world with this. This is going to be amazing. You see it on Dragon's Den, it'll go on and pitch the ideas and stuff. And I'm going to get loads of clients, I'm going to help millions of people, I'm going to have a massive social media, this and that, And when you actually go and do it, it's like this big thing in your imagination.
Yeah.
And when you actually stick it on paper and actually start to,
it's big for you in your head.
I've got to go and register the business name.
Yeah.
And it's the small thing. I've got no clients.
Yeah.
I've got no revenue. And I think that's like a real thing for me of like, if you've got this idea, like, you know, whatever you think it's going to take, times it by 1 million.
I think as well, get started. If you've got something like that, just the hardest part of anything, whether it's starting a business, getting fit, losing weight, just get started.
Yeah. Some people say, do you know what the worst advice I ever got was? The worst advice ever is, you know, take your time. You know, take it easy. I would say go fast. I would say make your mistakes early.
Yeah, I
you know what I mean?
agree.
Like, you know, I always say to people, if I need a job done, I'll just do it. You know, if I make a mistake, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get there quicker by going quicker. It's like, if you sprint 100 metres, you're going to get there quicker than walking it.
Yeah.
It's just the same. Yeah, you might trip, might have more risk of tripping up or whatever.
Yeah.
And excuse the play on words, but like, it's like the herd mentality, innit?
Yeah.
It's like if you're in a pack of lions, for example, you're safer in the pack, but you're probably not going to eat as much in the pack. Whereas if you go sort of lone wolf, you got more danger. You're more at risk of being attacked, and
the rewards are
bigger. And I always think of it like that, me. And you know, with the content room, we've had to really navigate loads of stuff over the last 6 years. And people say to me now, "Oh, you're doing really well. You're smashing it. Smashing it." You know what I mean?
People, again, goes back to what you were saying earlier, people only see the end result.
I know.
It's like when you see a guy that's really jacked or in really good shape, and no one sees the 6, 12, 18 months of training and diet and discipline.
Sacrifice they put in.
It's the end result.
100%. So before we round up, mate, is there anything else that you want to touch on?
Just enjoy what you do and be positive.
Love it, mate. I love it, mate. Thanks so much for your time, pal. If someone has watched this and watched your content that we're going to produce from this and wants to get in touch with you, I know you're down for a piss, so...
That's all right.
If someone does want to get in touch with you or come and see your business or talk to our website, SEO, marketing, paid ads, whatever it is, what's the best place to contact you?
I think come through the website. The telephone number's on there. If you come onto a mobile, on the bottom left there's a phone icon. Hit that and it comes straight through.
www.headmarketing.co.uk.
That's the website, yeah.
Spot
yeah.
on. Thanks for your time, mate. Appreciate it. We'll get this out very, very soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Peace
I love
out,
it.
And Mark's going to give her a piss now.
I am. Cheers, guys.